Good morning, student. Today I am just going to explain about the Rutherford experiment. This is called Rutherford model. Alpha ray. At first you must know about alpha ray. What is alpha ray and what type of charge it has. Actually, radioactive element when placed in an electrical field like radium is electrical element, placed in an electrical field, positive and negative, then we can see that it imitates all three types of ray automatically. One ray bent towards the positive negative terminal, this is called beta ray. It means one ray when radioactive element is placed in a electric field, three ray comes out from the radioactive element. One ray bent towards the negative terminal, this is called alpha ray because it has positive charge, that's why they bent towards the negative terminal. Now one ray bent towards the positive terminal, it is called beta ray because it has negative charge, so that's why they bent towards the positive terminal. And gamma ray, it is neutral, there is no charge. So we can say alpha ray have positive charge. One thing is clear, alpha ray have positive charge. Now I am just going to explain about the Rutherford experiment. According to Rutherford, when alpha ray is passed through the gold foil, then we can see that most of the ray is penetrated through the atom. Most of the ray is penetrated through the atom. This is the one atom of the experiment. Okay. When alpha ray is bombarding on gold foil, then we can say that most of the rays penetrate through the atom. It means most part of the atom is empty. That's why they penetrate through the atom. And some of ray is deflected from the nucleus. Some of rays deflected from the nucleus. It means alpha ray have positive charge. Alpha particles have positive charge and they bend towards the positive from the nucleus. It means nucleus have definitely a positive charge particles. Okay, definitely positive charge particles. So same charge have repulsion. That's why they bend from the nucleus. And now one of the ray returns on the same path. One of the ray just passes through the nucleus, returns on the same path, which indicate that the total mass of an atom situated inside nucleus. This is called Rutherford experiment. I repeat the experiment once again. When alpha ray passes through the gold foil, then most of the ray is penetrated through the atom. It means most part of the atom is empty. Some of the ray is deflected from the nucleus. It means alpha ray have positive charge particles. Nucleus have definitely a positive charge particle. Both have repulsion. That's why they deflected from the nucleus, which indicate that nucleus have positive charge particles. And the last one of the ray just passes through the center. It returns on the same path, which indicate that the total mass of an atom situated inside nucleus. This is called Rutherford experiment. Now, limitation or defect or drawback of Rutherford experiment. Number one, Rutherford was unable to explain about the stability of atom. Rutherford was unable to explain about the stability of atom because according to Rutherford, electrons revolve in a spiral path. This is called spiral path. So electron rotate in a spiral path. It has positive charge, electron have negative charge. After rotating electron, it attracted towards the nucleus. In this way, atom is unstable. So it is not explained by Rutherford. So you can say Rutherford was unable to explain about the stability of atom. This is the number one defect of Rutherford experiment. Number two, Rutherford was unable to explain how much electron rotate in an orbit. According to him, electron rotate in an orbit, but how much electron rotate in an orbit, this cannot be explained by Rutherford. This is the second defect of Rutherford experiment. So one thing is clear, student: isotopes, isobars, isotones, isoelectron, Rutherford experiment, atomic diagram, electronic configuration. These things are clear. But now electronic configuration in case of orbital, it is necessary to know. Actually, this one is in class 11th or 10th also, some portion in class 10th. But now I want to discuss now electronic configuration in case of orbital, SPDF. Okay. You are knowing, I have already explained, orbit is a circular path where the electron move, and it is denoted by KLMN. Maximum number of electron in an orbit is 2n square. With the help of this formula, we are able to calculate how much electron rotate in an orbit. So 2 into 1 square equal to 2. In case of L, n equal to 2. 2 into 2 square equal to 8. M, n equal to 3, 2 into 4 square, 3 square equal to 18, and n equal to 4, 2 into 4 square equal to 32. So maximum number of electron in K orbit is 2, L orbit is 8, M orbit is 18, and N orbit is 32. Now electronic configuration. The arrangement of electron in an orbit is called electronic configuration. So in case of magnesium, atomic number is 12. So what is electronic configuration here? So magnesium have 12 atomic number. So KLM, it means 282. This is the electronic configuration of magnesium. So number of electrons present in outermost orbit is 2. So it is called valence electron, and inner electron, that is called core electron. It is called core electron. Now in case of potassium 19, so what is the electronic configuration? 2881. This is the electronic configuration of potassium. This is called valence electron, and now other electron, that is called core electron. During the bond formation, valence electron take part in bond formation. Okay. Now orbital. Orbital is the space around the nucleus where the possibility of electron be maximum. Orbital is the space around the nucleus where the possibility of electron be maximum. There are 4 orbitals, S, P, D and F. Okay. So orbital is just breakdown, orbit breakdown to orbital K, SP, SPD, and now N is breakdown into SPD, F. Okay. Maximum electron is 2, 8, 18 and 32. So these are orbitals. Now maximum number of electron in orbital is 4l plus 2, where L is started from 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay. So if for S, L equal to 0, P, L equal to 1, for D, L equal to 2, and for F, L equal to 3. So now with the help of this formula, we are able to calculate how much electron in SPDF orbit. So 4 into 0 plus 2 equal to 2 for S orbit, maximum 2 electron is there. In case of P, 4 into 1 plus 2 equal to 6. In case of D, 4 into 2 plus 2 equal to 10. In case of F, 4 into 3 plus 2 equal to 14. So maximum number of electron in S is 2, P is 6, D is 10 and F is 14. Now, as far as the concern of electronic configuration, S, P, D, F. So, 2 electron is here, so 2 and 2, 6, 2, 6, 10, 18, 2, 6, 10, 14 equal to 32. Electronic configuration 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, so electrons are rotated like this: 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, like this. This is a way for entering the electron. Okay. So electron at first enters into 1s, then 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, and so on. So how can you write the electronic configuration? You are knowing the maximum electron in S is 2, P is 6, D is 10 and F is 14. So this is sodium atom, atomic number is 11. What is the electronic configuration? 1s, 2 electron, because that has 2 capacity. 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. Why is 1? Because 2 plus 2, 4, 6, 10, 1, 11. So this is the electronic configuration of sodium in case of orbital. It is necessary. Okay. Now in case of carbon 6, 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, 2p2, configuration of carbon. In case of phosphorus, atom number is 15, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. This is a configuration in case of phosphorus, in case of orbital. Now in case of chlorine, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So this is electronic configuration in case of orbital of chlorine. So these are very important questions. Write down electronic configuration of the element in case of orbital. Now another is Bohr's model. Bohr's model. This is another model for atom. There are some important postulates of Bohr's model. Write down number 1. According to Bohr's model, electrons are rotated in a circular path called orbit. Electrons are rotated in a circular path called orbit. It is noted by KLMN. Okay. I have already explained these things. Electron rotate in a number 1 postulate, circular path. Circular path. It is represented by KLMN 1, 2, 3, 4 with the help of 2n square. Maximum number of electron, it is given by Bohr. Maximum electron in an orbit is 2n square. With the help of this formula, we are able to calculate the KLMN electron. For k, n equal to 1, so 2 into 1 square equal to 2. For L, n equal to 2, so 2 into 2 square equal to 8. For M, n equal to 3, so 2 into 3 square equal to 18. And for n equal to 4, so 2 into 4 square equal to 32. So these are electrons present in an KLMN orbit. So maximum electron in Kn orbit is 2n square, which is given by Niels Bohr, and orbit it is circular path where the electron move. This is the first postulate. Now another postulate is when electron jumps from lower to higher energy level, energy is absorbed. When electron jumps from lower to higher energy level, energy is absorbed. Lower to higher, energy is absorbed, and higher to lower, energy is released. When electron jumps from lower to higher energy level, energy is absorbed, and higher to lower, the energy is released. So these are three important postulates of Bohr's. Okay. Now very important term here, Siemens effect. Siemens effect. What is Siemens effect? Splitting of spectral line under the magnetic field is called Siemens effect. Splitting the spectral line under the magnetic field is called Siemens effect. And now another is Stark effect. Stark effect. Splitting of spectral line under the influence of electric field is called Stark effect. Splitting of spectral line under the influence of electric field is called Stark effect. These are two important terms. So that's all now today. Okay, that's all from my side. Now see you again next class. Thank you.